I should be live right now. I think I am. All right. Hi, my name's Gary. You should go to jollyrogerukulele.com to pick up the resources for the class today and check everything out and make sure that that you didn't know was already there because it's awesome. And I've got lots of free sheet music on there. I got tons of baritone resources. We're building our baritone program up so that it is equal to, if not better than, the ukulele resource. And we're taking baritone. We're making baritone a thing. That's what we're doing. And so hopefully you can come and join us and take a look at that and see if it's worth your time. I am now posting the link for today's episode on the webpage. We had YouTube sort of crash on me in the last class, so I am hoping that things are going to be back to going normal here. All right, that's linking to the correct thing. So now we're going to wait just a little bit. It is 1:59. We start class at 5 minutes after the hour. So if you are watching the recording of this, you can just fast forward 6 minutes and that will get you to about the start of the class. In the meantime, I'll be sitting here greeting and chatting with people who come in to join us today. I think probably because the internet is full at the moment. All the kids are supposedly back at school in North America, and the rest of us are trying to continue to do what we do on the internet. Who knows? Maybe it's just full, but we had a little bit of a challenge in the last class, and I'm hoping that challenge now goes away. In the meantime, you should know on jollyrogerukulele.com there is a tab just for baritone players. I'm in the process of converting, or in one way or another, getting all of the ukulele program to make sense on baritones. And for the most part, it's going to be actually a better program in some respects because we have this low tuned string here. That's a D for baritone players, but the nice part about it is that you have actually a little bit more ability to create melody on this instrument than we do on a standard ukulele. And so that's what's kind of nice about this, is the ability to really create some beautiful music with the same playability as an ukulele. When you go to guitar, it becomes much, much more difficult to play. And sometimes the work isn't necessarily worth it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, sometimes guitar, not taking anything away from guitar because it's awesome, but sometimes you have to work a lot harder than you should have to get what you want out of that instrument, whereas it'll just flop right out of a baritone ukulele. So Amazing Grace Baritone is what I'm downloading. And so hopefully this will be a fun activity. A lot of people are just tired of working hard and making music, and they just want something that's just enjoyable to do. And that's this instrument, right? You get this big, deep, beautiful sound without having really without having anywhere near the level of work that you have to otherwise. And I'm downloading piece of sheet music here that I forgot to download earlier today, and now I am ready to teach baritone ukulele. And what else can I say? Oh, Michelina wandered in. She is here. Good afternoon to you. One of the great names in all of history, Michelina. She said she got picked on as a kid, which, honestly, if your name wasn't Gary, you should get picked on. I don't remember ever getting picked on for the name Gary. There aren't that many Garys left. Nobody names their kid Gary anymore. But I remember picking on kids, but I don't necessarily remember too many people picking on me. Yeah, I was that guy, right? I didn't know it was bad to pick on people. I still am not a guy, right? I still like to pick on you a little bit. Diane is so funny. She is such an amazing musician, so dedicated. So many years she's hung out with me, and she's in the process of expanding her repertoire, bringing in baritone. I think maybe basically because she pretty much got ukulele. Let's bring in something different, and so yeah, we all need a little bit of practice, right? And that's what we're here to do. Hey Vic, welcome in. Again, part of the reason we show up here is just accountability, right? If you are a musician, it's super challenging to stay completely self-motivated. Some people can do it. I'm not that person. I need something, I need a reason to show up to play. And for a long time, I played piano, but I had to have a lesson every single week. Otherwise, I'd slack off. It's just, I needed that accountability of going to lessons. And I think hopefully this scenario here kind of does the same thing for you guys, right? I'm hoping that you are thinking, well, I got to get to class, got to learn my baritone. And I also hope that in the evenings you're thinking, probably ought to play through Amazing Grace. He's going to be talking about it tomorrow. I might as well pull it out and take a look at it. Find those things that are complicated and weird, or find the things in the sheet music that are going to go well for you, not so well for you. Think about them, have them go through. Maybe me blathering on about the piece of music provides you some insight. Maybe you find out Gary's got exactly the same problem at exactly the same measure that I was having, and then you'll feel a kindred spirit. I think, or my hope is that just the process of showing up here gives you the motivation to sort of stay connected to the work that has to be done. And hopefully, not hopefully, I do know without any question, if you practice a little bit at home and you show up for your lesson, I guess it doesn't have to be every day, but if you show up at least weekly, maybe it's every Friday, you wander in, knock out that concert with us, you'll become a fine player. You really will. And even if you've been playing an ukulele and now you're thinking baritone and you're having this problem of your brain switching from one instrument to the other, that also is something that it's a skill that's required. When I grab this now, that's either a G or a D, depending on what instrument I'm on. But I will be working on that today, as always, with getting into baritone brain as opposed to being ukulele brain, or different from guitar brain. Guitar brain is different. On guitar, that's a C chord too, just like for you guys, but it's got this extra note over here that just makes it so much harder for me to play, and I fight it all of the time. So welcome everybody. It looks like we got a nice turnout today. Diane, I mentioned, was here. Vic is here. Terry is back for some more. Terry's a fine ukulele player, and he had on Twitter back in the day, and he was going to go to all 50 states and play ukulele in all 50 states, mostly at the state capitals. And he did. And I started following him way back in the day when I think he had 10 or something. And it turns out he lives right over here. So so while we've never laid eyes on each other, I know Terry quite well, and he's in the process of picking up baritone as well as ukulele. And so, again, not that one's better or worse than the other, but we want to just continue to build our skill set, find out those things that, hey, I was pretty good at this on ukulele. Wonder what it sounds like on baritone. Right? Cindy's that way. Cindy logged in here. No baritone today. Where's your baritone, Cindy? That's sad. What did you do with your baritone, Cindy? But Cindy's another one who's involved with ukulele and baritone. Figured out baritone's her thing, And for some of you guys, you'll just find out that's nice, right? And that's what you want to make your sound with. Linda, I'm back. Yeah, our goal is to get the entire class in. The last class crashed right in the middle. I was playing Bridge Over Troubled Water perfectly, way better than Simon and Garfunkel, but the sound got all garbled up in YouTube somehow, and nobody knows how perfectly I played it. So I can't prove it. Let's see. Jack is in. Aloha. Jack is in. He says aloha, but what he really means is, hey, y'all. No, that's not true either. He's in Chicago. I don't know what the joke phrase from Chicago is. Well, if it was the 1930s and it was Al Capone, he'd say, stick 'em up. Let's see. Ray is here. Hey, Ray, good to see you, bud. Of course, Terry. You can always send me a link. Bad wonky string. Oh, that's right. Cindy's string went bad. She's coming over on Friday afternoon to get that repaired. Probably have to do a full restring. Hey, guys, here's what you got to know. Here's what's fascinating. Baritone, I have gone through a million different types of string on here, and more so than all of my ukuleles combined, I end up replacing baritone strings all the time. I think part of it is the two metal strings. I think also the fact is that these are not really wound tightly. In fact, baritone tuning is not ideal. And so we tune it a little bit looser than we would the other instruments. And I just have this sense that these strings, because they're not particularly loose, they don't resonate the way they really are supposed to, and I think it contributes to them wiping out. I've worked with most of our baritone players in my orchestra, and most of them have had one weird or string or another thing happen during that process. So just know baritones they're completely unique instruments in so many good ways and in a couple of bad ways. And just know that it's worth the effort, I think. All right, let's see. Vote early and often, as is the Chicago vote early and often. We had your mayor in our jail here, right over here, for a couple of years. What was his name? Blagojevich, I think was his name. Yeah, he was in our jail. We have over here on west side of town, they have Jared from Subway, and they had the mayor of Chicago in our jail for a while. Governor. Apparently, as you're governor of Illinois, you go to jail. Everybody just knows that happens. Let's see. The Daily Machine. Jack, I'm back. Oh, the Daily, right? Some of you guys know your Illinois politics too well. Last one for the day, Valerie. Whew, I know, right? We get tired. Okay, so let's play. Let's stop worrying about it. Let's stop worrying about who's in jail and who's not. Let's worry about learning how to play. Amazing Grace. This is not going to take us a long time. We're only going to be together a short time here today. The purpose of this song is to get you to stop yanking your chord off. That's it. That's the entire reason it's here. That, and it sounds beautiful. Okay. First, let's run through the chords. Let's make sure your D chord is in good shape. Index finger on top, third string, second fret. Middle finger on the bottom, first string, second fret. And ring finger out here in front, third fret, second string. Okay. So sometimes we strum. Okay. Sometimes we pluck. Whichever is making you happy, we're going to go through it both ways. Okay. Just make sure your D chord is here. Now, as a experienced musician, one of the things I will tell you is we are numbskulls in two ways. Number one, I don't really care what this is anymore. That's the shape I need. I don't necessarily need to name that. But number two, I have to name everything. Okay. And in music, you don't necessarily have to do that. You know, this is the shape that we call D on this instrument. It's called G on another instrument. Useful. But what you really have to know is from here, where do I got to go next? Your next chord is a G chord. There. That's all you're going to do. Okay. So you're going to take this, drop your ring finger down, boom, and then you are. There's your next chord. That's your next shape. Think about chords as shapes more than the name of the chord, because especially if you guys have any ukulele in your background, this shape is not called D, right? This shape is not called G. So you can make that happen in your head where you start to have conflict there. You're like, baritone brain, ukulele brain, it's easy to talk about, harder to do. What you really need to know is, hey, when I'm in this shape, I'm going to move to this shape. Okay, paperwork couldn't possibly be any clearer. Start this shape, going to go here. All I'm doing, this is going to roll down, and these guys are going to come up while I play that shape, and then I got to go back to this shape. Okay, the other shape I'm going to use in this measure 7. I'm taking this shape, up, up, lose. And I'm in A7. And then to get back, down, down, add. That's it. Okay, so the shapes, you only need these three shapes: this shape, and this shape. And to move around between them is actually fairly easy, luckily. Okay, this is by far the hardest part of the song, is getting this shape up. Let's strum and sing. First time through. Oh boy, they're going to debate whether he should have been in jail. Guys, whatever you guys from Chicago think, we agree. Please don't shoot us. All right. It's sad that town has a little bit of that reputation, right? First time through, thumb. Second time through, plucks. Remember, when you're plucking, thumb is on the top string, index is underneath the third string, underneath the second string, underneath the first string. Four fingers, four strings. Pinky does nothing. Okay, pinky's for show. First time strum, second time pluck. 1, 2. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Change to plucking. 1, 2. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Okay. Strumming, plucking. Both of those are going to be tools you have to have going forward. So I practice both of them. Just get comfy with them. Singing and strumming is a skill. As a baritone player, you're probably going to need to have. Pretty good chance you're going to end up hanging out with ukulele players at some point. They're going to expect you to play the low voice, which is almost always chords. Almost always. The chances of them asking you to play melody are less than if they play it. They have the higher voicing. Typically, we have the ukulele players play the melody, baritone players play accompaniment. It's not good or bad, right? It's just different. You can play the melody, but very often, if you're playing the melody, it's lower than the ukuleles, and then they've got to deal with adjusting their chords, and they're not that good at it, and you're going to be great at it. You're thinking of me being in jail, or who should be in jail? Okay. What? Cindy? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Something about jail. All right, let's play the melody. Okay? Now, I want to talk about, this is where the purpose of this song. Be cool. Okay? We could play this in first position, and then your twos would be with your middle finger, ring finger here, but then your pinky's got to jump out here to 5. There are no ones, so let's play in second position. Index, middle, ring, pinky. Now you have every single note in the song covered, and you're not going to have to move anywhere. So now, normally we play twos with our middle finger, but now we're going to play them with our index finger. So index, middle, ring, and pinky. Okay, let's give it a try. From the top, just the melody. 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2. Done. Okay. The idea with that is I want to do the least amount of work possible over here. I don't want to lift a finger up unless I have to lift it up. I'm not going to put it down until I have to put it down. I want those notes to go as long as possible before being interrupted by some other activity. The message here is pretty clear. Don't do anything over here unless you have to do it. And the idea is allows your strings to ring as long as possible. You guys are very lucky with baritone. These strings will ring for a while for you, and you've got a lot more resonance with this bigger body than we do on the regular ukulele. And so for you, I want to really just see you focusing in on long, beautiful, sustained notes. Don't lift up a finger. Don't add a finger until you absolutely have to. Do we have a chart with the baritone chords, up the neck, bar chords? I guess I haven't done one yet, Cindy. I will be doing one. Cindy is talking about this and and so on all the way up. I have one for ukulele. I don't have one for you yet, Cindy, but we will have one. Okay. Part of my job with hanging out with you guys is that I've never finished anything with baritone. I'm always tossing it together in the last minute. Oh crud, I got to have the baritone something to do, right? Which is pretty typical in our world, unfortunately. But I am building the full 100% replicated program for you guys so that you don't have to feel like I've skipped a bunch of stuff. And the reason you feel like that is because I have skipped a bunch of stuff. Okay. Now, big message, your takeaway is don't do any work over here unless you have to. Okay. Be as lazy as possible with this hand. This is where the music comes from. You got to be accurate and beautiful and thoughtful with this hand. This hand, we just need it to do what it has to do. Okay. Now, let's get into the big issue. We're going to play fingerstyle ukulele. They call it chord melody ukulele. I call it tough uke. Doesn't matter what you call it. What we're going to do, take those chords, beautiful D chord. We're going to add the melody to it, and we're going to turn that into something. Okay, we're going to squish those two together. Okay, so in fingerstyle, we almost always start with the chord on first. Almost always, 98% of the time. Okay, so grab your chord. We'll walk through everything, then we're going to play this a couple of different ways. When you have your D chord on, your first note's a 2. Are you holding it down? Yes, you are. Click the 2. Okay. Next is 0, 2, 3. Am I already holding it down? Yes. Don't do anything. Just play 0, 2, 3. Next is 2 and 3. I'm already holding those down. Hit those. And then 0, 2, 3, 2 is a nice full strum. You're already holding everything down. Notice we haven't done anything yet over here. Okay, so measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes I've played. 2 of them were chords. Did not need to do anything here. And that's your takeaway. Don't do anything here unless I have to. Next note is a 0 on the first string. I got a problem because he's holding 2, so I got to lift him up. Play the 0. And then I got 0, 0, 3 in measure 3, and I've got a problem because he's in the way. So I lift him up, play 0, 0, 3. And my next note's a 0, and he's in the way. So up here until you die. So getting this bar chord on, and then your pinky up here on 5, that's a really nice tool to have, okay? And it'll come up a lot more than this tool. Okay? That's a 5-beat note. B, 2, 3, 1, 2. Next note, I'm gonna go ahead and reboot. I'd like to finish the song. So go back to, if you are